Indiana continues to attract some unwanted national attention for being one of 5 states that does not have a specific hate crimes law, especially in the wake of the 2015 RFRA controversy. That's why organizers of Indiana Forward say creating a comprehensive hate crimes law is both a human and economic issue. The campaign now includes more than 700 supporters from business, nonprofit, education, and faith communities. And joining me now are the president and the CEO of United Way of Central Indiana, Ann Mertlow, who is a lead organizer of the group, as well as the director of external communications at Cummins, John Mills. And welcome to the program.
Thank you.
This promises to be a hot button issue at the Indiana State House. First of all, as you talk about hate crimes legislation, Indiana, one of 5 states without comprehensive or specific language around a hate crimes law. Talk about the status and where we are right now.
That's right. We are one of 5 states that doesn't have a recognized bias crimes law, and there are a couple of problems with that. Number one, the fact that we don't have specific enumerated characteristics makes it very difficult and unlikely that judges will actually apply a law. And the second is that similar laws that are vague have been determined to be unconstitutionally vague and therefore not enforceable. So it's time for us.
And this is a big issue in the business community and a number of organizations around the state. As I mentioned, a new organization, Initiative Indiana Forward, was actually launched this week, 700 plus members. So it is a large group and a pretty diverse group from around the state.
Absolutely. And United Way has a very big interest in this for 2 reasons. Number one, we bring together all segments of the community to tackle big issues. And communities that are strong are able to really gain all of that power by bringing all segments of the community together. And if you're not included or you feel fearful, you are not going to be part of that. Number 2 is strong communities start with strong economics. And anything that acts as an economic development deterrent is not good for our state or the people we try to help.
John, let's talk about that. Why is this such a big business issue for a company like Cummins? And I know there are a lot of small and medium-sized organizations involved as well.
We've got to have a community and a state that is welcoming to all people to recruit and retain top talent. As Ann said, it's an economic issue, but it's also a social issue. It's the right thing to do, and when we're doing the right thing, we're able to recruit better people, the best people, the top talent that we want.
Let's talk about that. How does this impact that talent recruitment element? We saw what happened during the RFRA controversy several years ago. Indiana got a lot of unwanted national attention, negative attention, rightly or wrongly. We were cast in not a good light. How does that impact on the talent side?
Well, obviously, we need to move past that, and we need to show that we've learned from that and that we are a welcoming, progressive community. I think there are a lot of businesses, a lot of organizations, and most of the public, more than 60% of the public, are supportive of this. The time is right. The governor has made it clear he's supportive of this. We have organizations, businesses, large and small, throughout the state that want this. We see it as an economic opportunity. We see it as an opportunity to really engage the next generation who are looking for those companies that do the right thing, that are involved in their communities, that are strengthening communities, that care about diversity and inclusion. We've got to show that as a state. We are competing against Silicon Valley. We are competing against the East Coast. In order to be successful, in order to continue the economic growth of the state, we've got to make strides, and the time is now.
Yep. Okay, Ann, let's talk about the outlook, how you see things playing out. At the end of the day, a number of bills will be considered, but is it the specific language in the inclusion or non-inclusion of groups of people that is really, at the end of the day, really going to be the defining issue in this whole debate?
It is. We think that the enumeration of those characteristics, including sexual orientation and gender identity, is critically important to this effort. So at this point, there have been a number of bills that have been introduced, and we are looking to work with legislators over the next 4 months to determine the best bill that meets our criteria. And Indiana Forward's criteria is based on the enumeration of those characteristics.
As John mentioned, the governor has expressed his support for it. There are legislators, though, with that specific language who have problems with the language. How do you see this playing out? I know it's a long process. Are you just at the beginning of that process now?
We are at the beginning. It's at the beginning of the session, and it's always a complicated process. We do know that there's significant support for this effort, that it's an economic imperative. And the truth is that a couple of years ago, our state was painted in a very unfavorable light, and that stain on our reputation is not going to go away unless we fix this.
All right. We'll be following the story, hate crimes legislation at the Indiana State House. Ann Mertlow from the United Way of Central Indiana. John Mills from Cummins. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
All right.